Hi, this is a story about being me. I am a human being living in the United States in California in the year 2021. I am working on my third novel, and I'm dyslexic. My family has all received a vaccine. My son, the youngest, is only one of two shots in. I just wanted to tell a little bit about maybe being who I am and writing books, because it's a big part of who I am now, and I would have never believed that to happen. So my first book is called The Gene Rasp, a novel. The Gene Rasp started in 2009 as an idea for a screenplay, which was completed, and then had a little journey, which included the actor Elijah Wood and a lot of bumps in the road that led me to stop writing screenplays and ultimately start writing novels. My second novel that just came out is called Saw the Forest. This started its life as a screenplay as well. But actually, it started its life as an idea. It started as a question. Could I write a screenplay where all I wrote was one scene a day, and each scene I wrote would be something I would wish to see that day? It was an interesting idea, and when I got to page 70 of the screenplay, I had a dilemma, because I hadn't been writing it as though it would ever be completed, as though it would ever be one thing, one coagulated actuality, I guess. And so I had to think beyond each day, and at 70 pages in, I thought about what the structure of the story was beyond each day. And I couldn't write anymore until I finally came to how it was going to end, which I had no idea, because I needed the beginning to link up with the end in order for it to have any reason to be. So that screenplay was finished, and it disappeared again from my life for quite some time until I started to write novels, and novels appeared because of one thought. So I had stopped writing screenplays, and I wanted something to start. And on February the 2nd, 2020, I was looking at the date. I think it was on my phone. And it was 02/02/2020. And it was such an odd, odd thing to see that I thought there's something significant about that, and I would like to commemorate that significance somehow. How could I do that? And in a rush of adrenaline, I guess, and thoughts of, what could I do that would be the hardest thing I could possibly think of doing, I decided to start writing a novel that day. And my idea then, instead of writing one scene a day, I would write one page. And that's how I started writing my first novel. And that's how I completed it. So February 2nd and beginning of July, it was done. And then it's like, well, what do you do with it? That's a whole other thing. In August, I had completed what I thought was that book, which included an audiobook version that unfortunately was never, Audible never accepted it, unfortunately. So I have this thing that's, it's a digital file. I don't know. I think that was literally the first time the doorbell rang in months. That was unusual. Anyway, so yeah, Audible, that didn't work out. And after a bit, I decided to start the second novel. And I finished it, and I started the third. And there's going to be a few more, I think, at this point. It's a surprise of my life that I would write books, because they've been one of the biggest challenges in my life as a dyslexic human being. A dyslexic mind is not one that deals with words, structure, sound, even ideas, in a way that makes it seem possible to write a book or to read them. So I guess that's all I really wanted to say. I dedicated the second book that just came out, Saw the Forest, to my colleagues at the high school where I work. That's what I actually do for a living. And I thought I would say just a little bit about that. So you write a book, excuse me, and you think, I shouldn't have a dedication in the book. The first book was dedicated to my family. And ultimately what drew me to the dedication to the second book was the book itself, what the book was about. It was about the difference between being an individual and being a community. And throughout this pandemic that we've been living through, I've witnessed the community of this school, of the people within the school. And it influenced everything about the book that I wrote. So, that's the dedication. That those people were representatives of being a forest, rather than just being their individual selves. And I guess that's about it. A little story about my journey as a writer. Thank you for listening.